Hello everybody. In this video, we will try to predict something very important for the year 2023. And the energy that I am talking about now is going to be working from 18th January 2023 onwards, and it will work till March 13. It will work till March 13 or March 12, you can say. So what is the energy that I am talking about? The energy that I am talking about is a kind of dreadful energy. So the first thing in Vedic astrology, the fundamental principle in mundane astrology, is there are 3 planets which are very much harmful, are the Rahu, the Mars and the Saturn. These 3 planets are treated as malefic in mundane astrology. Fundamentally, they are malefic. So you may think the positive side of it, that is, only problems can teach you better, or problems are the better teachers for your life. If you take this kind of things, then that's going to be a positive thing. But at the same time, here, the energy that's going to be concentrated because of these 3 planets from 18th January 2023 onwards may not be a simple problematic energy. It can be more than fearful, you can say. So what is that energy I am talking about here? You take till 17th January. Till 17th January, Saturn is going to be in Capricorn. And the part of the energy that I am talking about is already running. It's already running in the form of Rahu and Mars. If you observe this particular planetary positions, Rahu with its 5th aspect is watching the sign of Leo, and Mars with its 4th aspect watching the sign of Leo. So both Rahu and Mars already started working on the sign of Leo. So the moment when Mars actually present in the sign of Taurus, so you can just adjust the timings and check this particular thing. When Mars actually entered the sign of Taurus, it's around August, right? So since August, you can see both Rahu and Mars energies are operating on this particular sign of Leo. And one fundamental thing in the astrology is the aspects of Mars, Saturn are very much malefic. Saturn has 3rd aspect, 7th aspect and 10th aspect, and Mars has 4, 7, 8 aspects. Aspects of Saturn and Mars are always malefic. Even in the natal astrology, whether Saturn and Mars are functionally malefic or benefic to your ascendant or not, the aspects of Saturn and Mars are always malefic, and they are going to give trouble with those aspects. So here, since August 2022, you can see the Leo is really impacted because of this Rahu's 5th aspect and Mars 4th aspect. And now the only thing that's not added here is Saturn's aspect, which makes the situation even more worse. And from 18th January 2023, Saturn is going to be moving to the sign of Aquarius, and which makes the Saturn's 7th aspect falling upon the sign of Leo. Here, why this Saturn's aspect is very much important, very much vital, it plays vital role, is because Saturn is completely opposite to the sign of Leo. Even the Saturn's Mula Trikona house, Aquarius, is completely opposite to the sign of Leo. The Mula Trikona house is the duty performing house of a planet. And when a planet is in its Mula Trikona house, it's going to function completely. It's going to perform its duty completely. It's going to give the punishment to the people completely. Now the punishment is going to be the Leos. It's not about the people I am talking about, it's about the Leo oriented countries, Leo ascendant countries. So the Leo ascendant countries are going to face 3 energies, that is Saturn's 7th aspects energy and Rahu's 5th aspects energy and Mars 4th aspects energy combining. They may create an energy that can really dangerous to the existence of the Leo ascendant countries. And this kind of situation for Leo ascendant countries, I think, might not happen for the past. You just take something like the Rahu is coming into Aries. When it can happen? Only once in 18 years Rahu can come to Aries. And when Saturn comes to Aquarius, once in 30 years, and it stays there for 2.5 years. And Rahu stays there in Aries for 1.5 years. So for 18 years, so if you want to see this moment of Rahu in Aries, you need to wait for another 18 years. And if you want to see Saturn in Aquarius, you need to wait for 30 years. And of course, every year you can see Mars in Taurus. So combining these, how many years you need to wait to see Saturn in Aquarius, Rahu in Aries and Mars in Taurus simultaneously? So it can be 30 into 18 into 12, you can say, because the event must happen simultaneously, right? So what I want to tell you is, it's a rare event. Watching Saturn in Aquarius, Rahu in Aries, Mars in Taurus, and combining the effect, watching all these planets, watching Leo, is a very rare event, and that is going to hamper the performance of Leo ascendant countries. Even the existence of Leo ascendant countries is in trouble, is in a big trouble, I would say. The trouble can be to the existence of the country, and also as Saturn is involving here, there would be lot of protests you can observe in the Leo ascendant countries. And one more thing I want to point out here. Mars is watching the Leo with its fourth aspect, and fourth aspect of Mars is bad, really bad. And the Rahu's fifth aspect is of course bad, and Saturn's seventh aspect is also bad. How much bad? Right? That is the question. How much bad? It's bad, of course, all of them are coming. The aspects are simultaneously watching the Leo, but how much is it bad? Is that Mars very strong? A Mars in Taurus. This particular Mars is in the sign of Rohini. Is in the sign of Rohini. Is a moon's nakshatra. Rohini is a moon's nakshatra. And Rohini is nothing but resources. Rohini is more than resources. In olden days, Rohini, they used to represent Rohini with a bullock cart, because all the agricultural products they used to take them, they used to shift them from one place to another place using bullock cart. Its Rohini is not just a bullock cart filled with all the agricultural products. It's a kind of resources, it's a kind of nourishment, more than nourishment you can say. So this particular Rohini energy is going to nourish Mars more and more. And this particular Mars, which is like a military general, right, is getting lot of resources, lot of energy. So Mars is getting enough nourishment. So this Mars, you can say, to an extent, it's a powerful Mars. It's a powerful Mars. And what about this Rahu? The Rahu always represents some kind of expansion. It's a kind of smoke. It can expand to whatever extent it wants. And this particular Rahu, which is in the Bharani nakshatra, which is a Yama nakshatra, the lord of Bharani nakshatra is Yama. And Bharani nakshatra is always a representation of a creation of new energy. Right? So Bharani nakshatra, basically it is represented with the female organ, vagina, right? So why it is represented so? Because that is the birthplace, right? That is where the soul from a different world enters into the mother's womb. So it just you should not see Bharani nakshatra as just a female vagina, but it's actually a plane which is representing which is actually a transformational plane between two different worlds. One is the astral world from where the soul is coming, and the earthly plane, which is the mother's womb, right? So Bharani is acting as a creation of new energy. It is a point of creation, you can say. Bharani is point of creation, and this point of creation, when it is expanded by Rahu, Rahu is basically a malefic energy. So the creation of malefic energy and Saturn. And what the Saturn is doing? Saturn is in the nakshatra of Dhanishta, which is a Mars nakshatra. The pinnacle of Martian energy you can see in the Dhanishta nakshatra. Right? So this Saturn, of course, this Saturn is powerful because it is in the sign of Aquarius, which is the Mula Trikona house of Saturn. So basically this Saturn, Rahu, Mars are going to question the existence of Leo ascendant countries, going to question the existence of Leo ascendant countries. Leo represents the royalty. Leo represents the royalty, the royal countries in the world, the greatest countries in the world. Now you can clearly see the energies of Saturn, Rahu, Mars, which are very much powerful and which are not, of course, royal, right? Even you can see Saturn represents the daily labor. Saturn represents the low wage earning people, the maids. Completely opposite of royalty is Saturn energy. That Saturn and the Rahu, which is completely malefic and which is the primary enemy of Sun, and of course Saturn is also enemy of Sun. These two planets are watching that the supremacy, the Leo supremacy, the royalty. So Saturn, Rahu, Mars, all of them are questioning the royalty of the world, going to question the greatness of the countries in the world. So the greatest countries in the world are represented by Leo. So the greatest countries in the world so far are going to be questioned, the existence of them is questioned by Saturn, Rahu, Mars energy simultaneously. And this kind of event happens very rarely. And when this kind of event happens, people check the behavior of Jupiter. If at least the Jupiters, see, one fundamental principle in Vedic astrology, whether Jupiter, even in natal astrology, Jupiter is functionally malefic or benefic to your ascendant, it doesn't matter. The aspects of Jupiter are always benefic. So Jupiter is a savior when there is a problem. But this Jupiter is not watching the Leo. This Jupiter is only watching till Cancer sign. It's not at all watching the sign of Leo. Even if you move it to March 12th, till that date, the Jupiter is not at all watching the sign of Leo. So 18th January to 12th March 2023, the existence of greatest countries in the world is questioned. The existence of the greatest countries in the world is questioned. from 13th from 18th January 2023 to 12th March 2023. And one more thing is, the royalty is always questioned, the supremacy is always questioned during this period, and it is the biggest threat to any prince living in the world, you can say, especially the full-fledged royal countries, the full-fledged greatest countries are going to be under severe trouble, and there is no planet saving that country at all. So 2023 is going to be a biggest transformational year for the world. So whatever countries you saw so far, the greatest countries, may not be the greatest countries after March, and that too, it is just showing a financial year, right? 1st April is the financial year, so from the next financial year you can see in the world that the greatest countries so far would not be the greatest countries. So that is the message I want to give. And one more thing, you can also see this particular, another notable point here is around 18th March. Yes, around 21st March, you can see the 7 planets are populating in the 3 signs, Aquarius, Pisces and Aries, 3 signs including the 90 degrees. So in the 90 degrees, you can find 7 planets populating, and that I already covered in my previous videos in 2021 itself, I guess, or 2021 itself I covered this particular thing. This is showing a clear transformational energy which is going to end something, because Pisces is the last sign in the 12 signs, right? So Aquarius, Pisces to Aries, the transformation is clearly shown. So end of something and creation of another thing. So when something is ended, then only some other thing would be started. So just it is just correlating the events. See, from 18th January to 13th March, it is clearly showing the Leo's supremacy, the world's greatest countries being questioned, and then just in a week or 10 days of time, on 21st March, it's again showing end of something and creation of a new thing, a transformational energy, a clear transformational energy, which is actually showing the continuity of the events, which is confirming the event that we predicted, that's questioning the greatness or the royalty of the so far greatest countries. So that's what we can understand and predict from the planetary energies, and the duration 18th January 2023 to 13th March 2023. Thanks for watching this video.